Problems, right? You're playing against Decrepify, which can save either the target you're on or you can get Decrepified yourself until BKB. You're playing against Leshrac, who has a ton of damage instances to remove Refraction. And Monkey King ult as well is actually a classic TA counter, especially if he goes Diffusal, which Moonmeander could do as a position 4. He could go for something like the current Orb of Corrosion that he's eyeing up into that Diffu, and that's something Uragi will need to take care of. But you know, with the right items, TA can play against most. I think in this game, the items you need to look out for are BKB and then ultimately a Nullifier.
Sure, and how's sort of the lane for Uragi against these two melee heroes?
It should be completely fine. I don't see why he wouldn't just out-farm Night Stalker in this lane.
Going to get some good damage in onto Tiger there with the two stuns set up at the start. You know, some of the other lane matchups, Bryle on the mid Lesh, of course, as talked about in the panel, a lot of potential here with the duo of him and Dubu in that sort of mid stage of the game where Dubu's going to be able to keep him fueled up and pumping out the damage with that endless amounts of mana. How's sort of the lane against BZM and in sort of the overall game, how much issues does an Invoker provide against a Lesh?
It's kind of tricky until you get BKB on Lesh. I think Cold Snap actually ruins this hero quite hard if there's reliable damage instances all the time. Can't really cast your Split Earth in the fight. You're very much dependent on moving around to deal your damage. So I will say Invoker is pretty good. I think Invoker plus TA traps or Invoker plus, you know, a Dragon Knight stun with Exort Invoker is always going to be scary for anyone, right? You can just Sunstrike Meteor, blast someone, again with no saves on TSM. You can't Decrepify the guy Invoker is on. That's not going to end very well. So, yeah, I think Bryle could have his own fair share of problems. The laning stage should be fine, though. Leshrac does completely fine against Invoker, does fine against basically anything, right? You can always find farm with Lightning Storm. But very curious to see how Bryle opts to skill build here, because sometimes we've seen mid-Leshes go like 1-4-1 and just really focus on getting the tower. He's opting for 2 points in Split Earth here, maybe to ensure range creeps a little bit better, or to be able to contest the Forge Spirit.
Some good harassment here from BZM. Bryle ready to trade back with the ball already done. And then Water Rune at the ready, he'll be able to grab that one. Would you imagine we're going to see much movement from each side's supports towards this mid lane? Any chance for an early gank to get a kill for each mid?
Oh, hang on, we're going to maybe get a kill top here. At least very good damage. Moonmeander, if he could find a level up there, he might have actually had that. Looking for the courier.
Has got the boots of Uragi on. Uragi will be able to get them delivered over. Actually, try and turn back over towards Moon. And he's hit the two. He's also got a Salve and a Fairy Fire, so feeling confident to trade back with Tiger.
Yeah, that might look like a bad trade for Moon. Like, effectively, he took like 300 damage and maybe dealt 100, but the thing is he ensured Saberlight, I think, 3 creeps.
And Tiger, he could be in trouble here. They're in on top of him with the silence. He'll pop the Fairy Fire, turn with the blast, Moon with a nice dodge there to protect him against the
Uragi's
will live.
Perhaps.
So if Uragi can run away from these two,
it should be okay, but if he gets another attack here and gets a reset on the Jingu, that would have been huge, because then Uragi wouldn't even be able to come and contest this current wave. Might have to wait for it to run into tower, but now he's fine. So yeah, nice kill up here for TSM. I was not expecting them to be able to find first blood against this lane, but obviously Moonmeander just trading early on against Taiga and not expecting that surprise skill point in Crippling Fear perhaps to come into play there from Saberlight. Not necessarily on your mind in that moment. Playing
in the mid. Seb is going to see if they can get the kill onto Bryle. Dubu TP's over. It's ready to turn and take their attention away from the Lesh. Bryle will survive, even with that Sunstrike coming from BZM. Not quite enough, and they were very well prepared for that. With that ward that they have in their own jungle, they did catch Seb moving earlier towards that mid lane.
The trade-off here is obviously with both the bottom supports running over. You're going to have Wraith King farming against Dragon Knight. This is a, for all intents and purposes, pretty boring lane. The two heroes are just going to hit creeps and none of them can threaten each other at all, really. So unless the supports rotate back down here, that is not going to be the lane to watch for a while. I think there's going to be much more likely action top, and it's actually happening right now. Misha, I keep calling him Misha because the name, it's in the name there. Taiga for Misha. Under a little bit of pressure, but we'll be okay.
And in terms of the build, does it still surprise you? I feel like during the draft, there's maybe the expectation that BZM would go for the Wex, but going for the Exhort this game. Is it this just sort of just looking to capitalize on those solid stun setups?
I think BZM goes for Exhort Invoker every game, if I'm not mistaken. It's just, it's their favorite way of playing, as Uragi will find a kill on Moon here.
They'll be able to get rid of that Monkey King finally, after Moon was creating quite the annoyance for them, pushing them away from the wave.
when you think about OG's team identity in this tournament, I think it just makes sense for BZM to play XORD Invoker, right? They like to play these 3 scaling cores and really focus on being able to find that farm. In contrast to, if you haven't watched OG Dota for a while, Thompson would almost exclusively play Quas Wex because his role in that team was way more of a roaming nature. But yeah, BZM in this team, always that XORD Invoker, huge impact late game, looking to farm up. So can't say I'm too surprised here.
Solid CS as well in the mid so far. 14 denies against Bryle, 25-15 against the 22 and 5. It's going to be off to a hot start with the XP. Already about half a level ahead. We'll see top lane, Saberlight and Moon. They'll try and make another move onto Tiger, Uragi. We'll see if we can do anything to help out Tiger. Cookie over to the side. Moon, he wants to dive this. He's in with the Primal Spring. Tiger will be able to turn with the blast. Tiger goes down. See if Moon can get himself out of the range of the tower. Sunstrike coming in, but it won't quite catch him. Moon
Arrow.
able to make it out.
Bit of a minefield up here. He found a way out. I actually think if the arrow hits, Moon still doesn't die. He had a raindrop and 14 ones and a fairy fire, so would have blocked the majority of the arrow damage. Oh, he's actually going to go in on Uragi.
Back in. As low as he is on the HP, he wants to try and set up for an aggressive move on Uragi. He had the stick charges good to go. Tiger is back around to help Uragi out, if you did so. The dive won't continue, but Moon continued to play incredibly aggressive and just trying to keep Uragi on his toes and away from the creep wave. And it is showing Uragi at the moment getting the least amount of farm out of the lanes in comparison to the other cores.
Yeah, I have to say that's pretty surprising. This is not how I imagined this lane would go, but TSM are doing an excellent job in controlling that top wave and getting all that farm. I think the panel were saying as well, this should be a great lane for TA, but it is effectively a 300 gold lead for Night Stalker, who is a widely considered a relatively weak laner until nighttime, right? But they managed to find a kill during day, and he has more CS, so...
And now they're bringing Dubu up here as well. So extra pressure being put onto the safe lane of OG. Of course, on the bottom half of the map, Tomato, he's had a fantastic start. Top net worth, and now he's able to safely move into the jungle, progress on his armlet. It's very hard for OG to really make any sort of move to slow this Wraith King down at this stage.
Yeah, what they're going to do instead is they're going to use Amar, Dragon Form bottom as soon as possible. He's pushing this wave in. He's very... Oh, hang on. That's another death for Tiger, probably.
Certainly is here. TSM FTX continuing to pile up the pressure on this top lane. And OG, with the two of them, they're not able to deal with it. Uragi and Tiger starting to struggle against this early aggression.
It's going to be kind of telling how TSM adjusts now to Amar being level 6. So he's probably going to want to use his first Elder Dragon Form bottom tower and start pushing that. I wonder if they're just going to leave Wraith King to solve that on his own, which will, the tower will take some damage, but not too much, or if they actually want to try to turn this into a gank. It's very obvious what the goal is here for Amar. You see him even pinging down here, might want some team backup to go for this tower. Tomato will be making his way over. There's the Dragon Form, and he's going to, for now, just be alone here while TSM will maybe look to mid, but it's only 1 point in Edict on Bryle, so I don't really know how much they can get done.
It's more of a killer with that sort of build. See again, Moon. It's really been on Tiger's case this entire game. Tiger just cannot get away from this Monkey King.
They don't like Tiger.
Ensuring that there's not going to be any easy way of him getting over towards helping the safe lane, and Bryle heading in and taking away some of these stacks from OG. Tiger and Seb, they'll look over towards him.
Oh, he has the haste.
He's ready to run down Uragi. Uragi is into the mail, but they've got the detection. Dust is out, TPs are coming in, but the Boundless Strike lines up onto the two of them. They'll take out Uragi. They'll look for Seb as well here. He's got a few leaps to play with, but the damage far too much surely as Bryle burst through and double kill for Bryle. An excellent move off the back of that haste.
This should also end in a tier 1 tower. I don't think OG have heroes to rotate that can defend this right now. Invoker is not ready at all, playing as Quasic Sword, so it doesn't really offer much in the way of defense. And with TA dead, I don't think she wants to re-TP up here, but let's see if that is the case. No, she's going to TP on the outpost, so... Oh, good arrow. Oh, wait, was that an arrow? No, he got clapped by the Ogre.
The Ogre's got him. All set up for the trap.
Oh my god, he's actually going to die from that?
The cookie in.
Oh,
no! The neutrals getting a bit of revenge there against Bryle, as Bryle was taking quite a bit from OG's jungle. But the jungle fought back against him, sets up for Uragi to get the kill on him, and also to be able to chase down Moon. Uragi is going to be very, very happy with that, especially after he was having a bit of a tough time in the lane. They do lose the tower, but with those kills, it's really boosted Uragi back up. He's now second highest in the net worth, only a few hundred behind Tomato.
It's a little bit unfair when the game is 2 teams against 1. The jungle just teaming up with OG to get a double kill for Uragi there.
We'll see Bryle is going to get straight back out on the map towards the bottom lane. Meantime, top, Saberlight, he's going to get set. He's able to run him down, and bottom, they do manage to kill off Amar.
Wait.
The Moon and Bryle, after being taken down top, they TP towards the bottom. Mario did die. I think
he must have failed a toggle
I think he must have, because he had backup. It definitely didn't look like a scenario where he should have gone down, but he did.
He failed a toggle with corrosive breath on, I think. Or he died on purpose to get a free refill. That one I don't believe in, really. You know, sometimes you give the players the benefit of the doubt. That did not seem on purpose. He was having a laugh at it too, I think. They still get the tower, they get the top kill. Yeah, we're gonna see it. So Tomato here with Armlet activated. Toggles with corrosive. Yeah, it happens.
We'll see it again in poor Tomato.
Honestly, oh my!
Oh my!
Probably a good thing he didn't have ulti skilled there. I think he would rather die than waste
I think so. I mean, his team still got the job done. You know, they were able to push that tier 1 tower.
And while Amar does get a gold bounty there, he doesn't get any experience. So
The mid.
was dead already.
They can catch Tiger. They won't be quite on target with the slow. Cookie to take him out to safety. And he's just some early tier 1
they
towers
saw Moon
going
here.
down. See if he's going to get any sort of help. That's the team trying to head over to help out Moon, but it's a lot of damage here for the Chaos Meteor and the Forge Spirits. Moon is going to get saved though, Dubu. With the heals, keeping Moon alive. Now Saberlight and Bryle, they've gotten their way over towards the back lines. To the side though, the Kisses are coming out. The Dragon Tail's done as well, holding Bryle down. Bryle, he'll get punished for trying to dive in and take a kill away from OG as he'll fall.
Yeah, OG very adamant about defending this triangle, as they should be. They're playing a TA strategy. You need to make sure this area is under control. It's a huge part of what Iragi will be looking for in order to carry this game. So can appreciate the aggressive move from TSM, but they just got hard countered there by the Dragon Tail into Snapfire ult.
And do you like this one from Amar? The Ether Lens Rush.
I don't know. I feel like we don't see this very often. I guess with this, can you outrange the Silence from Night Stalker? Can you stun farther away than Crippling?
I wouldn't, not when you're in melee form, I don't think.
Now, when you're in range form, absolutely with this.
Yeah,
and I think that's,
not in melee, surely. I
think the logic here is that he needs to outrange Crippling Fear, and it feels like if he buys Dagger, then... Oh, hello. I don't think he can really use this for anything. Okay, it's being annoying.
I mean, there we go. We saw the range coming into play there. So that's a decent amount.
He took 600 damage. That's not all that bad. So yeah, I think it's in order to outrange Crippling Fear, and it is... He's not as dependent on the Blink Dagger, which can be really tricky when you're playing against a hero like the Night Stalker, right? Who can flank you and just get any sort of damage on you so you can't make use of your hero. So I really like the theoretical approach of this. This is one of those item builds where it's either going to look really good or really bad, right? It's probably not going to be somewhere in between. So let's see if Amar gets a lot of value. It's nice to have them on it too, though. You know?
Yeah, I just have a bit of a different approach. You know, normally Amar is going for the carry items. This time he's...
That's a good point. Amar bought a utility item.
It's a bit of a different Amar with it.
Can you believe it?
Down the mid. TSM FTX wanting to finish off this tower. Bryle getting set up upon him. Mars in with the Dragon Tail stun. Dubu fueling Bryle back up to full HP, but it's a lot of damage coming out here. Bryle, he'll go down. Jiragi takes him out. They'll turn over towards Moon as well. With the damage coming in, Moon is going to have no chance to jump. The Sunstrike is set up straight on target. BZM takes him out. An OG with Amar around in the Dragon form, they can look to push down the tier 1 themselves.
Yeah, even with that save attempt from Dubu, pretty much instantly decreping against the two Forge Spirits. There's just too many stuns and too much slow. Like, he's not getting out of there on Bryle. Has the Yules now, but no, it's looking good for OG here. They get the mid-tier 1 first. Playing against Leshrac, you're generally very happy if your mid-hero is the first one to knock down that tower. Still have yet to take the bottom one, though. We've heard S4 talk about earlier today how important it is to open up that tower, but I think OG with their lineup don't necessarily need that much access down here with how happy they are to play triangle with TA. And probably just park someone like Amar down there a lot of the time to just, you know, farm up and soak any ganks.
Yeah, TSM FTX, they're just going to come straight back in the mid, try and look for a fight to allow them the chance to get the mid tower. Iragi turns up, and they can't commit all the way deep for Tiger. Tiger's able to step away, but the space was there for Bryle to finish off the tier 1. So they'll balance things out in the mid here, TSM.
Yeah, Moonmander's going Orchid, so Diffusal was not on the menu for him. Still do feel like it does seem like a pretty good Diffusal game. Got a little bit of a tech issue. I'm sure that will be resolved shortly.
They
can hear us?
Yeah, they can hear us. We'll keep you informed. Hopefully this screen for those here in the arena will...
They all died!
Stop it, Sin. That's a 5-man black hole! No, there's no Enigma. People watching online are probably thinking what these guys talking about. There we go, the screen at the arena's back on. There we go. It's probably Slack stripped over a cable. Now we've got it plugged back in and we're back on with the show. 7-7, 15 minutes in, less than 1K in it. It's a close start here off the back of the lanes. Yuragi, desolated done. We saw already in that last fight how hard he was hitting, and with the Deso, it does get that bit scary if they're able to get the TSM FTX lined up. And also, of course, giving them the opportunity to maybe step in for the Roche, especially with the Invoker and his Forge Spirits. A lot of opportunities for that if they win a team fight. I
think it's also crucial for OG that their carry in this game has significant physical damage, like overwhelming amounts, because you're playing against a Pugna Netherward, right? So your spell damage from your Quas Exort Invoker is going to be reduced by quite a bit in these team fights. But TA with Alacrity can offset that problem in a big way. Just hits insanely hard. You see the damage on TA currently. Yeah. Hitting for 263 pre-Alacrity. So the Alacrity, that's going to be like 300 something, almost 350. He needs to be controlled by TSM, or they need to be able to decrep the target reliably. Arguably the better choice would be to decrep Yuragi in general, because I think if you decrep a teammate, they can just die to any of the other spells, right? You get absolutely annihilated by Snapfire, or by Dragon Knight, or by that Invoker. Snapfire can also outrange the Netherward, which shouldn't be underestimated. That's kind of an added benefit of the hero. It can deal full spell damage, because the range of this spell is enormous.
So they can go for Saberlight. Set up here, allows for the Dragon Tail. Dubu starting to keep Saberlight safe from any follow-up physical. The kisses do still come in towards the three of them. Fair bit of damage, but too far for OG to chase up upon and look to continue for now. Now that the smoke up, TSM FTX might look to try and get the wraparound back in on OG.
Oh, they're gonna... Ral's on a trap, so they know. Yeah, nice try from Seb to get the arrow there. The problem was the Warpine Raiders were in the way. If Seb leaps and then arrows, I think he can find a connection there, but he was probably hoping that he wouldn't have to. Oh, okay.
Tomato's in with the blink, and this long wraparound for Saberlight and Dubu have allowed them to come in from the high ground, from the triangle. OG, they'll be under the tier 2 though. Looks like TSM FTX, they don't have enough damage to really take anyone out. It's close to the tower. They'll have to hold back and maybe look towards some pressure elsewhere. The bottom creep wave is moving in. Proving to be a little difficult now with the items that OG have for TSM to just get in and kill a hero to start things off. They've got good ways of saving one another, OG. A lot of stuns.
Yeah, Tomato opting for the dagger over Deso, so his damage output himself isn't the best, but he has the power to set up for both Leshrac and Saberlight on the Night Stalker to connect onto a target. So they're valuing that higher, and he's actually bypassing Deso entirely, which is interesting. He's just going to go AC instead.
Look at this, OG. And of course, with the Deso and the meld, they can take Roshan down very, very quickly. It has been scanned out by TSM FTX. They're going to start making their way straight over to the side.
Nice
Seb,
silence.
It's being a bit of a distraction. They'll lose Seb, but the space is still there for Yuragi to continue finishing the Roshan. Turn over towards Dubu, he gets burst through by the combo BZM. They need to get towards the pit soon if they want to try and stop it. Roshan getting very, very low. Moon will set up the Wukong's command, but Yuragi's already finished off Roche. Picks up the Aegis. They turn with the stun over towards Saberlight. Sunstrike comes in. Saberlight dies to the hits of Yuragi. Yuragi is in trouble one time round here though as Moon bursts in with the Bounding Strike. We'll be back, of course, for a second round with the Aegis and BZM. He's already looking for the setup back onto Moon. Trap slow as well from Yuragi. They'll look to run down the Monkey King. Moon's up to the high ground, but the hits from Yuragi shred through it. As OG, they'll take the Roshan, they'll take the fight around it. TSM FTX able to get some kills in return. Let's see if Tomato is going to be under any sort of threat. He's still feeling strong. Has got that reincarnation at the ready, so he's not scared at all. In fact, he's going to head straight towards that top lane to start to farm it. OG, they may look to see if they can set up and take him down twice. TPs are coming in. Tiger's ready to help out, and he has got the kisses, so they'll have great damage if they can get an opening stun on Tomato.
Oh, this is... Oh!
Ooh! Ooh!
All right.
I mean, we saw his reactions earlier in the Manta-style video piece that they were showing, and there we have with the blink Tomato. As soon as he senses something up, he's away.
Oh, these fucking Zoomers, man. They're so fast.
That was great stuff there for Tomato. We're going to get that again in the slow motion.
Yeah. So from his perspective
this is what he sees. As soon as he sees Seb, he knows something's up. He catches a bit of a glimpse there, and
all right.
He plays it cool. He knows, all right, well, I've seen you, but I'll wait until the spell comes out, just so he can look even more stylish with the escape, and he does. He's out of there. OG got the setup on the Night Stalker straight away with the kisses. The Boundless Strike does come down to put a stop to the ult, but the damage is already done. OG, they're going to try and push him for more. They'll focus down the Nether Ward. Dubu now hiding underneath the tower with Tomato. Amar, he's ready to try and hunt for more. He's looking for Tomato, wants to get the setup on the Wraith King. OG, they've got the full squad here for the fight. They get the stun opening onto Dubu, he goes down. The space created though for Tomato to at least get the blink off and get back to safety. OG with the 2 kills, they'll try and push on for the tier 1.
And it feels like quite a bit ago, but I don't think we mentioned that the bottom tier 2 tower of OG's fell because Tomato was split pushing that while the Roche fight was going on before he connected over there. And that's why essentially that turned into kind of a draw. Since they killed the Aegis carrier afterwards and got a bot tier 2, the gold in the game didn't really shift, but they got a little bit extra map control. Oh, BZM. Good stun chain here, bottom lane.
Oh, he's in trouble. Has he got anywhere to play his way out of this? He'll turn with a tornado, get himself out of the Wukongs, but the AoE damage coming out from Bryle takes him down. Over to the side as well, the top half of the map. They get the jump on Seb. 2 quick kills for TSM FTX. Sableye already seeing if you can maybe check out something else here as he's on top of Uragi. Amar will jump in. Uragi actually able to get the blink off in time. Tomato, he'll look for the opening on towards Tiger. They're in on top of the Snapfire. The final void there from Sableye taking him out. 3 kills for TSM FTX.
If Saberlight would have chased it a little bit further, that could have gone dicey for the Dragon Knight as well, but Amar will be safe, as Saberlight is now showing himself on the wave. They're just going to cut this wave and take the outpost, which they have access to because of what Tomato did bottom, so this could play a key role in the upcoming map control battle, that they have this access point now. It is very, very strong. I would say for Night Stalker teams to play with outpost is very powerful, right? When the enemy team is going to try to get this outpost back, if you do have that Dark Ascension, you will always have guaranteed vision in the area, even if you don't have any wards. So it can be quite the threat to try to take down. Bottom lane, oh my god, Moon. He is in big-ass trouble here. Gets the Orchid off.
He's going to maybe be able to build up the lifesteal, but Amar, the Breathe Fire makes sure there's no chance for Moon to live that little bit longer. Get rid of the Monkey King. Now, BKB is very close for OG now. BZM just about half the gold of a recipe away, and Uragi also 700, and he'll have the Ogre Club. So they'll hit this timing when they've both got the BKBs. And of course outside really the Wraith King. A lot of the threat from TSM FTX will be limited. AC is done though for Tomato, so that physical will hurt hard, especially when he and sort of Saberlight are punching in with these 2 right clickers.
Yeah, with Saberlight's BKB, it seems pretty reliable that they can get onto at least a support and just blast them immediately. The thing they need to be careful about is if they blink in and try to initiate on a BKB target and the BKB does come off, the turnaround potential for OG is exceptionally strong with that Dragon Knight. So BKB usage is super important for both teams, which is hardly surprising, it always is. But in this game, the damage is so explosive from both sides that if you don't pop your BKB in time, it's not a matter of how low you're going to get before you get to use it, it's that you're literally going to die from full to 0. There's just that much coming out from either side, so gotta have your reflexes ready.
I think eyes on Dubu again now to make some great saves. He has the 4 staff done, so a way to try and break his cores out of the sort of Dragon Tail Sunstrike setup. Talking about that, Dubu will get hit by the 2 of them. As Dubu is going to fall low, Saberlight's going to try and jump in, but with the BKB up from Uragi, Uragi's ready to jump in on top towards Saberlight. Saberlight will get his way back up to the high ground, and Tomato and Bro, they've stepped up, taken down Amar and Seb. Now they can try and look for Uragi with the BKB on cooldown. Uragi, he could be in trouble. Then with the dust out, Tomato's in with the stun. They'll try and cook him out towards the side. Good deafening blast from BZM. Pushes back the 3 of them. Ice Wall as well, trying to hold them out. Uragi's able to blink up to the high ground and TP out. Uragi will live. Tiger turning things around here with the kisses, but Tomato's made his way around over to the Snapfire, takes him out as well. Moon's starting to play around with BZM as BZM has to run back towards the base. He'll live, they won't look to chase. TSM FTX taking out the 3, they'll take out the tier 2 as well. A solid fight there where they were able to make sure that Uragi didn't get too much done there during his BKB. Saberlight taking away a lot of the attention, and they are able to follow up onto the TA once the BKB had run to an end.
You could definitely see what Saberlight, we're going to see that in the replay in a moment, what he was going for with that chase on TA, because he knows this is the primary kill if they can get it. This is the crown jewel of the fight, but he didn't manage to find fog over the tree line here. I think maybe because the creep wave was where it was, Uragi could see him, so he was trying to poke and prod and still survive, but overextended just slightly, and Uragi was very quick to react to the circumstances, find the kill, and get out.
Yeah,
and even stuck his tongue out in the meantime. He's just a jack of all trades, this guy. Just absolute control.
He may get out of there that time, but the rest of his team not having too much fun against TSM FTX in that scenario. 3K lead now for TSM.
The prize is mine.
Also kind of crucial that Dubu didn't die in the initiation, right? We didn't really get to follow up on that so much, but
he got really low.
Beat stick of health. He had like 5%. Resets up with the stick, re-engages in the fight, and plays a role. So important that he was that quick to self-decrep when he got jumped. He didn't have enough to finish it off. Obviously, I mean, Decrepify against Quasic Sword Invoker, I talked about earlier how dangerous it is, but that's in the context of a team fight where the Invoker gets a Deafening Blast Meteor combo, right? Against Sunstrike, it doesn't really matter, because it's pure damage, so...
And Moon, again playing sort of his favorite area of the map here, just focused on holding back this bottom wave. Meaning that OG has to really consider how many resources they want to try and put into dealing with that Monkey King down bottom. Ryle, Bloodstone, nearly at completion. As for OG, we'll see if they're able to go out to look towards a fight themselves, because right now it's TSM FTX that are keeping the pace up a little bit more. Another smoke from the side.
They see ARGB there with the Night Stalker Night Vision. They know he's melded here. He's gonna run away.
So they can get the jump, Saberlight. Starting to open things up as they'll look towards Tiger. With the silence, ARGB's going to attempt to turn. Saberlight popping the BKB. They back off away from the EMP. That's the BKB down for Saberlight.
Poor Dubu getting arrowed in the smoke. They know he's there, but they obviously can't engage in. So yeah, OG pretty good there. They got a Night Stalker BKB charge and ulti, and they lost nothing, and that means there's an opening here for OG when this nighttime ends. I believe it was day now when Night Stalker popped this, or I feel like you can never truly trust this timer in the top when you mouse over. I'm not 100% sure. It will say until night. It says until day. Okay, it said until night when
I think it did when he just
it said until night when he had the ulti running.
Yeah, so...
Okay, well, it's still night, so not too big of a deal then.
I'll see if they still want to fight anyway. OG, they have got Amar ready to lead in. They've got to be quick with the catch, and as we've seen the last few times, Dubu is always ready to try and protect heroes from that chain combo. As OG, they won't catch anything with this move. TSM FTX, two set up here as a team for OG to try and get that jump in on anybody. It's BKB, it's done for Tomato now. So now he as well will be ready to get in on the front lines and really commit. The only real threat of the physical coming out from ARGB. Of course, he has his team to rely on just getting on top of the TA, making sure that ARGB has a real difficulty getting the job done in a team fight during the seconds of BKB he has.
Oh, Seb's in trouble.
I'll try and get him the stun. Seb up in the lead to try and break away from it all. Tiger dying in a couple of hits here from Tomato. Once there's one hero down, OG, they've got no fight to take. They back off.
Seb with the 3 leaps and Moonlight Shadow. You have to get the hell out of there. You've got quite some ground to cover against these heroes if you want to reset. He also has the Force Staff that he didn't have to use, but this is the bigger deal. Roshan, there's 25 seconds on Snapfire. Can OG do anything about this? They will buy back.
I don't want to let
what TSM were hoping for. They have the outposts from earlier, which is very, very important in this game state that they control this area. It's going to make OG's advances here a lot harder to pull off. Look at the drawing they're doing here on the minimap of where they want to smoke. Quite the path. All right, nobody cared about the drawing. They're going another way. Okay, well, straight on, arrow. Not going to connect.
Not going to connect. They still want to try and jump Amar. He's looking to get in, but Saberlight reacts immediately with the BKB. They turn over towards Amar. Amar forced to safety for now. The kiss is coming in, but Moon, he's in with the silence. Puts a stop to the Tiger ultimate. BKB popped by Tomato is turning over towards BCM. There's Tiger going down. No buyback on him. Bryle from inside the pit doing the damage out towards both Amar and Seb as ARGB's committing in, trying for the Roshan with this BKB. He'll push himself out to the side. Bryle getting bashed by the Roshan ever so low. Will step out of the pit, gets slowed by the trap, but Bryle will live. Saberlight, Tomato, they're back in on top of Amar. Amar goes down. Bryle did finally fall there. So the damage from Amar, tick damage, but that's overall a rough fight for OG. TSM FTX, they'll be able to get back into the pit, take down this Roche. As once again, we're just seeing the struggles around that BKB usage of ARGB. He's just not able to do enough. There's too many tanky heroes, and with the AC Aura, he can't quite burst through them as quickly as he'd hoped for as a TA. If they take the Roche, and they'll let Aegis go into the hands of Saberlight.
And they were very close to not even finding the Lash. At least they get the Pugna and the buyback, but you're going to see in the replay here, I think he ticks out to the final tick of Fireball that Amar left on the ground, so very, very close to living with that positioning inside the pit. But yeah, this part of the fight I think is actually the most important. Moon Meander taking out Taiga. The Monkey King and Night Stalker matchups are really bad for Snapfire, and that's what you're going to get when you pick it this early in the draft as OG. This deep in the tournament, teams have the solutions ready. And you're going to see here, so if you look at his health, the only thing affecting him, I think that TA trap is not dealing damage because it was placed so late.
Yeah.
So you either died to the last tick of corrosive breath or to that fireball tick, so very close.
4K lead now for TSM FTX, and they have this Aegis in the hands of Saberlight to play with. So he'll be very ready to jump. Niragi's got to be careful.
That's daytime now. 25 seconds until Dark Ascension, and you'd imagine TSM, I mean, they want to put their Aegis to use, right? So they can't wait for the next nighttime, so they're going to have to use it together with Dark Ascension. The good news is they can run Saberlight in super aggressively to try to force BKBs or key spells, since he has the Aegis on him. All right, they're poking Tomato.
If they can take him down the once, Dubu healing him up, they'll pop the kisses. If they can get either of the two of them out of this, Dubu will fall. A little bit of a window now, 70 seconds, no Dubu. And Pugna, he's been providing some great saves. They try and jump into the high ground, but Seb immediately gets turned upon. Seb goes down, deafening blast down, the Deso hits over towards the Monkey King as Moon will fall. And they get more out of this. Still Bryle, Saberlight, and Tomato, very, very strong, the three of them. Even if they are outnumbered right now by OG, it's hard for OG to take these cores down.
And there is a less shard here. Bryle getting that from the Roche, it's very difficult to access the area.
OG's got to be careful. There is that jump available from TSM.
And now the Night Stalker ulti is going to run out, so this is actually a power play for OG.
They're going to try and go. Amar is in with the combo straight on towards the setup of Bryle. Bryle's able to buy time with the Yules up to into the sky. Uragi is going to be ready for him as he comes down. The Tornado's there. Bryle taken out. They bring down the Lesh. Tomato standing his ground. Turns over towards the TA, but Uragi's able to slide down to safety with the Hurricane Pike. He turns with a huge hit over towards Saberlight. And Saberlight down the once. They've taken out Tomato. No ult for him as he'll go down on the respawn. Arrow from Step perfectly lined up. OG. They clear up the three cores of TSM FTX.
They just bide their time. They wait out the Night Stalker ulti. You know, they have access to that. They know it roughly when he used it. They know how long this lasts, and they're just chilling, you know? TSM stay in the area. They try to control it. They hope OG's going to run into them. They just don't, and then easy fight.
Well, he's found here. The 4-staff across as well to cut the
Arrow,
into the arrow. That's going to be a dead Moon Meander. Out for 70, spent up to get that Bloodthorn done, so some good space now for OG to push for some tier 2s.
They just swung the game in a big way. They were 4K gold behind a moment ago, and now they're 4K ahead almost after taking this mid-tier 2. Just this one sequence, just a huge dip.
Absolutely, yeah. TSM FTX just getting a bit ahead of themselves there, sticking out in OG's jungle when their supports were dead. They felt that they could deal with it, having the Aegis on Saberlight, but it was not enough. OG able to pick them apart perfectly and get that huge start with a big burst jump onto Bryle. The fight starts, Bryle, he's already about 3rd HP.
It's just, you always have to consider when you're playing as a Night Stalker team, if you're outnumbered and night turns to day, effectively this fight is not really a 3v4 with an Aegis, right? It's more like 2.5, because Night Stalker, his net worth has very low value. He has a BKB and a halberd, and he can't do any damage with his items, so all he is running around, has a little bit of control, and the Wraith King can't do it alone there. Tomato, after Bryle gets killed off.
They're ready to go for more. There's a couple of seconds until Moon's back up. BZM, he's in with a jump, straight away. But the opening onto Dubu, Meteor's coming down. Dubu gets destroyed here by the jump of OG. 7K lead, OG starting to get that momentum.
Yeah, this Invoker is nasty. BZM with the Hex. Can pretty much blink and blow up anybody who doesn't get Force Staff. Do they even have? They only have one on Pugna.
Yeah, it's just Dubu.
So if he jumps and kills the Pugna first, or somebody else stuns the Pugna, it just sets up Invokers to do basically whatever he wants onto one of these targets, as long as he's the first to go. This top tower, no way in hell they defend this. Also having the Alacrity talent here. Uragi is going to deal insane amounts of damage. Let's see what he hits for. 450.
Now, these buildings are going to go down incredibly quickly. They'll want to turn up to try and do something about the tier 3. And the barracks. I mean, already Amar showing his hand, ready to dive beyond the tier 3s to look for setups.
Yeah, no NS ult, so they want to force something. They still have 40 seconds until nighttime. Saberlight is not particularly useful right now. Nice arrow. Seb fishing a little bit.
And we see Tomato. He looks like he doesn't really want to head back until he has the nullify done.
Big pick BZM.
He's headed back to look towards him. Oh, he's got the tornado ready. teasing with Tomato there, waiting for him to come towards the end of his TP. Jump forward from BZM. He wants to try and run Tomato down. Tomato, he's going to need backup ASAP from the rest of his team. Amar, he's turned up as well. Hex into the control. There's going to be one death on Tomato. He'll be back for round 2. Moon trying to help out here. He's out with the blink. Good blink off the back of the reincarnation as Tomato will manage to get himself out of there. Moon will die. The chase is not actually over there from OG. Amar, he's in on top of the two of them. They're on top of Brow. Brow forced over to the side. Playing around with Amar. He's getting shoved all over the place with his 4-star, so he finally falls. Tomato's in on top of Seb. Seb taken out. Double kill for Brow. Brow's still alive this time round. They'll keep him up. BZM trying to continue to chase, but the shard off the Lesh, holding him back with the stun. Uragi's in with the jump, he's on top of Brow, but Sablite's in as well. BKB popped by Uragi, he'll continue to commit. Tiger connects with the scatter blast slow. Sablite trying to run, he's slowed down by the nullify, but he will live, and now it's time to re-engage. Turn over towards Tiger. TSM FTX turn, take out another, and they want to try and see if they can get Uragi as well. Sablite popping the ultimate, but the blink's already offering Uragi. Should be far enough away to get out of there.
Well, Izzy, though, he doesn't have a TP. There's a trap.
If he can close up on this.
Saberlight's gonna run to the end of the world to try to catch this guy, but I think we just reached that end. No, wait, you're okay. That was just not gonna be good.
This time around, sort of OG extending too far. As TSM FTX are able to take them out, outplay them. They keep Bryle alive. Bryle was the first focus really in that fight, but this time he survives. They can take the fight, they push back and get a tier 2.
Bryle's going to be a pretty serious problem now that he has that BKB that he used for the first time in that fight. OG, I don't know if they have enough single target damage to kill him unless they chain stun him. And if they do chain stun him and he gets decrept and glimmered, I still think he will survive, pop BKB, Bloodstone, and get to work. So you have to be very careful about how they approach fights, OG, especially until TA hits 25. I wonder what he's going to take. We've seen Uragi take both talents on 25, but this might not be the game for refraction instances, which is the most common one. It's taken way more than the Meld Bash, but maybe this is a Meld Bash game since you can't necessarily really rely on the defensive instances that much against this lineup. Very curious what he opts to go for. Pretty tense moment. OG had a huge lead and now we're pretty much back to square one.
Very, very close game.
Don't Google the net worth graph of this game. That is quite the roller coaster.
TSM ready to show themselves in the mid, though. The moonlight here from Seb.
Close to 25 on BZM, another one to look out for. Probably going to see the Radial Deafening Blast, I would imagine. It's a very powerful spell against the Radiant heroes, right? You have the knockback against Monkey King, you have the disarms against him, against the Night Stalker, and against the Wraith King. And a lot of the time they're flanking from different angles, so you can only hit one of them, but with the Radial one, might be able to catch everybody all at once for huge damage mitigation. He hasn't chosen yet. He chose now. Wonder what the pick rate is for these. This has got to be like super lopsided for Radial. Actually only 70-30. That's kind of surprising. I thought it would be more. All right. And the passives are pretty damn good, so.
He'll have his refresher ready for the next fight, BZM. And on if he wants to hold on for that buyback gold. As it absolutely is getting to the point in this game where if one team takes a rough team fight, highly likely the buybacks will have to be forced out. Mid lane, in fact all lanes, all tier 2s are gone. So one fight, and you'll have the winning team straight up towards the tier 3s.
I can't believe Amar's inventory. I feel like I'm watching a different player. I'm watching Seb playing Dragon Knight. Look at this. There's no damage. Amar, what are you doing? Where's your armlet AC on Dragon Knight?
He's even got the wards, you know, yeah.
And he got the Trickster Cloak. Yeah. He's got a defensive neutral item even.
Changed man.
Brown boots. Yeah, he's reformed. Grew up mid-series. Seb is so proud.
So far, it's been working pretty well. Those Blink Dragon Tail stuns have set up a fair few times. He's been able to get the jump on Brow the last few. See what they can get now. OG ready to pick the pace back up. They're out with the smoke. We'll see how prepared TSM FTX are for this. It's been a few minutes since the last bit of action, so a little bit more relaxed. Dubu's going to be jumping Tomato. He's actually going to get straight in on top of Uragi. Uragi pops the BKB, but the disarm was already there, so a few seconds of BKB where he can't really do too much at all. He's going to hide himself with the Meld. Tomato trying to run, but the kisses come in. That's Tomato down the ones. On the back lines, Moon. Wukong's command is down. OG having to back out away from the Monkey King ult. Saberlight will continue to chase. OG. Miragi's got to be careful now. With this BKB already used, it's not as easy for him to frontline as a TA. Nobody to die, just the reincarnation here taken away from Tomato.
Yep, they did force out the Dark Ascension again, though.
Let's see if they can get back in.
It's daytime in 5 seconds. OG would love to fight. I think TSM should perhaps take a little bit of a chiller here for 80
OG's
seconds.
going to try and force it.
Get the hell out of there.
They're well aware of the time of day that it's become. They've got the jump on Saberlight opening up. Tomato gets in to cover him. Turns with the stun on towards the Dragon. Another bit of buyback straight away from Tubu. Tomato trying to stay in on top of Amar, but Amar's able to kite him out to the side. Tomato, he'll turn over towards BZM instead. So they can bring down the Monkey King. Mumianda trying to run, but BZM commits. Gets the kill. Double kill for him. They're completely on top of Yuragi here. TSM FTX trying to kill this TA. Yuragi still alive. 3-man cooking there for Tiger. Jumps back in with a split up from Brow. Catching the two and then Brow will fall. Moon, he brought back to re-enter the fight. Tubu with the life strain, trying to damage Amar, but he's still too tanky as the DK. Amar will be able to step away, steps out for 70. He's got no buyback available. OG continuing to keep the fight going as Yuragi. He's backing onto Tomato. Tomato getting low. Reincarnation's on cooldown. He's not going to have a second life. He goes down. Cooking again for Tiger. Over towards Brow. BZM, he's getting low. Has to keep his distance away from the ledge to be able to kite him out. Nullify onto Brow. Takes him out of the use. Brow's out for 2 minutes. Meander, pretty much the last one standing in this fight for TSM FTX. He'll try and live, but he cannot. Yuragi, double kill for him. 4 dead on TSM FTX. They put multiple buybacks in an effort to win that fight, and they lose it horrifically. TSM FTX knocked out. OG, they're ready to go down the mid, and with no buybacks, this is going to be serious damage to the base, maybe even the game sit.
Yeah, if they realize there's no buybacks here, the game is actually probably over. What's a single Night Stalker going to do here? He can try to cut the wave at the risk of losing his life. He will do so now.
If he can get a couple of creeps, he will have buyback Saberlight. He's 48 gold short of the buyback. See if he's going to live long enough to get any money. Turning for 1 CS would do it. Okay, maybe another. 30 gold short of the buyback.
There's a courier.
That'll do it, okay. Oh, that still won't do it. He's still short of the gold.
He's more gold.
They're looking to end the game here down the mid. We see as well Tomato. He's only 180 gold short of the buyback, but he is short of it. There's no chance of defending. OG, they'll go to the edge and they'll take the game.
Damn, what a crazy last fight that was.